Exploring our water future, innovations and strategies for sustainable water conservation. Water scarcity is one of the most pressing environmental challenges we face today. This panel brings together leaders from across industries and organizations who have successfully implemented impactful water conservation strategies from technological innovation to grassroots efforts. I'd like to call upon stage Mr. K. Ganesh, Senior General Manager, CSR and PR, Bisleri International Private Limited. Director of Sustainability and Corporate Affairs, Bisleri International Private Limited. I'd like to call upon on stage Mr. Amrit Om Nayak, co-founder and CEO of Indra Water. I'd like to call upon stage next Mr. Ramveer Tanwar, founder of Say Earth NGO. Dr. Nidhi Pundir, Senior Vice President, Global CSR, HCLTech and Director, HCL Foundation. Mr. Khurram Nayak, GM, CSR and Head Governance, Vedanta Limited.
Yes, please, louder, please. The clap should be louder. Thank you.
Dr. Subramanya Kusnur, Founder, Chairman, and CEO, AquaKraft Group Ventures. And finally, our moderator, Mr. Ajay Pradhan, Founder, President, and CEO, Cetus Consulting Solutions Services, C2F2.
Okay, Ajay ji, we are starting the a very short presentation by HCL Foundation, and then we can move ahead with the conversation. Please play it now. Thank you.
Best Industry for CSR, HCL Technologies Limited, Noida, Uttar Pradesh.
आईटी सेक्टर की जानी मानी कंपनी HCL जल प्रबंधन के क्षेत्र में भी बेहतरीन काम कर रही है। कंपनी ने अपनी CSR गतिविधियों से पानी के सैकड़ों छोटे बड़े स्रोतों की क्षमता में 540 करोड़ लीटर की वृद्धि की। HCL ने स्कूलों में रूफटॉप वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग सिस्टम बनवाए। 11.5 किलोमीटर लंबी मदुरई पेरियार नहर का पुनरुद्धार हुआ। उत्तर प्रदेश के हरदोई जिले में कैच द रेन अभियान चलाकर 383 एकड़ जमीन को उपजाऊ बनाया गया। गढ़वाल में अलकनंदा की घाटियों में दुर्लभ रुद्राक्ष के 3,500 पेड़ लगवाना भी कंपनी की एक बड़ी पहल रही। इसी योगदान के लिए HCL टेक्नोलॉजीज नोएडा को बेस्ट इंडस्ट्री CSR कैटेगरी में प्रथम पुरस्कार दिया जाता है।
Shri Rahul Singh, Chief Operating Officer, HCL Technologies, Noida, Uttar Pradesh. Dr. Nidhi Pundir, Vice President, Global CSR and Director, HCL Foundation, मौजूद हैं मंच पर पुरस्कार ग्रहण करने के लिए।
Yes, we can start the discussion, sir. Ajay sir, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ruchika. Very good morning, everyone. Thank you, all the panelists. I thought we were 5, but I think we are 6 of us, my panel members, and we have just 1 hour, Ruchika. So, you can imagine the tough job the moderator have to do.
Yes.
Since I'm a moderator, I don't have to really give any initial remark. That's understood. So I will straight away start with the first intervention. So we'd like to do in this way that all the panelists, 6 of them, they will speak for 3 to 4 or maybe 5 minutes max and give some their views, their organizations, water conservation policy and strategy. And subsequent to that, we'll open the floor because I think that would be more pertinent for participants to see and how they can fit into their work or engage with these companies or the founding CSR people in this session. So initially we'll start with the Bisleri, Ganesh, I think. Bisleri, as you know, that it's been for a long time into the packaging industries, and they have been, there for long and probably one of the largest water packaging company. But Ganesh, we would like to know how does that, sustainability and conservation in water fit into your goal as a Bisleri, as a company who are a largest producer of packaged drinking water. Ganesh.
Hello. Thank you so much, sir, for just calling me for the first participant to be the panel discussion today. So the topic is on water conservation. Let me just talk about water and then I'll just go into what Bisleri we are doing on water front. So water has been a very important resource and a very precious resource. If we are not going to save water, it's very difficult for the future. So that's what the topic is also about. Okay. With a population of 18% in the world, India, only 4% of the water is good potable water which can be used for consumption purpose. Okay. 70% of the water in the country is contaminated. Half of the river's water is unsafe for drinking. Okay. I don't know how many people know this. This is the real fact, okay. And India, if I talk about the global quality index of water, we are at the 120th ranking. So there is a lots of action that needs to be taken with respect to the water saving, water conservation, and also the water hygiene part to say like. As a company, Bisleri, we are the leaders in the packaged drinking water since 1969. 54 years company. But our vision from day one and our aim from day one is to see that whatever we use, we need to give it back to the Mother Earth. Maybe it's a water or it's a plastic. Okay. So my chairman was very, very, very clear on this thought process. And way back from 2001, we have been harvesting water. Maybe in the form of rainwater harvesting, check dams. And we created and constructed the first check dam in Gujarat in 2001. Presently, as on date, we have 336 check dams across the country with a harvesting capacity of 28.5 billion liters of water. Okay. And we have irrigated around 25,000 acres of land and 75,000 family members, farmers' family members are getting benefited. So when we had an impact study of this project site, as mentioned in the morning discussions by Dr. Koshla, was mentioning about the check dam and how it is bringing in the livelihood of the people over there. So it was very, very fascinating and very attractive to see that. Per acre, the crop they were cultivating was only for 40,000 rupees earlier, 10 years back. Now it has grown up to 4.5 lakhs per acre. That means the livelihood has improved and lots of flora and fauna started coming there. Okay. This is on the water conservation part. As a company, as we are using water, it's our prime responsibility to see that the water is used in a better, efficient manner. So we took in a step that in all our plants, the water is being used at an efficient way. So we use a process called reverse osmosis, wherein the permit and the rejection is 60-40 ratio in a normal condition. But we had gone for a high technology, multi-stage recycling plants and the reverse osmosis plants, which has helped us to improve the efficiency to go to 85 to 90%. Okay. And the plant is working at a very efficient manner. So we thought that we are doing a very beautiful job. But for our wonder, when we went for the water footprint study in collaboration with Terry, we found that in the fence we were using only 10% water. 90% of the water was being from outside the fence. So we thought that why can't we just study and go in details in the study. We had made a study through Terry and then found that like a carbon footprint, there is a water footprint too. So we are promoting that water green credit, which is in line with mission life of the government of Indian thing, which is being already published. So it is a theory, but as a company, we took two of our plants, one in a water scarce area and water safe area, and found that for manufacturing 1 liter of Bisleri or packaged drinking water, we require 14 liters of water, 4 liters of water in a scarcity area where water scarcity is more. Same at a water safe area, we found that for 1 liter, we require 10 liters of water. So this is for a packaged water. If I compare this with the carbonated drinks, it is for 1 liter, 50 liters of water. I compare with a crop, if I compare with the rice, 1 kg of rice needs 3,000 to 5,000 liters of water. 1 kg of chocolate requires 20,000 liters of water. So why we wanted to tell that? Because there are lots of scopes to save water. Because water is a very important resource. If we are going to use this abundant and then we are going to use it without any proper control, then the future generation will not have the water. So in fact, we are a water positive company. We charge 4.7 times more water than we consume. So these are all the initiatives which as a company we have taken, sir. So even though we are packaged drinking water, it is our responsibility to see that the water is given back and also we take care of the community.
Thank you, Ganesh, for your intervention. I will come back and moderate that. Let me just go through the first round of intervention. Now I'll go back to a startup company, Amrit Naik. I met him in Singapore Water Week. He's a young buddy and energetic and trying to get into the technology space in solving some of the challenges in water sector. Amit, you have marked some space in the water tech in decentralized water treatment system. But you tell us how, Ajay, what inspired you to founding this company and how does it fits into water conservation and sustainability for your companies in going forward?
Thank you so much, Ajay ji. Rightly said, we met at Singapore International Water Week. I think it's been a very interesting journey for us. Among a lot of stalwarts in the water space, me and my team, we actually do not come from the water space. We were actually into automotives and clean energy systems. And we got this unique opportunity. The inspiration was, I have grown up in the southern part of India, in Chennai. So anybody who's grown up in Chennai, their daily decisions and activities are all around water. Like what time will I have water to wash my clothes? What time will I have water to do the other chores in the house? So these decisions become ingrained in your daily activities. So when we got this unique opportunity to treat stormwater. Stormwater is a distributed resource. So we realized that, okay, by definition, you cannot have a lot of pipelines, a lot of collection centers, because it would be too expensive to do that. It would also be very complex. So the nature of the solution had to be decentralized. So that was the starting point for us. When we started with stormwater, and this was way back in Seattle, we realized that what we have built could actually have a much bigger impact in India. We got back here, we relied on only electricity. The reason being, bacteria and chemicals, both of them fantastic methods to treat water, bacteria being kinder on the environment, but they take a lot of time to treat water. Now, with the scarcity of space in every establishment that you see, the amount of time that you need to hold water by over 10,000 tons. We have reduced the usage of harmful chemicals by over 8,000 tons and potentially reduced the generation of carbon dioxide or other carbon footprint by over 2,000 tons. So this is a lot of impact and it positively impacts the lives of many people around. It makes more clean water available for activities like agriculture, daily usage by the society, because industries are now able to reuse their water at the source. In fact, at this point, I would also like to thank Bisleri, with whom we have done some work in the past for source water cleaning, and HCL, of course, where they have taken a great initiative across their campuses to treat and become completely water positive. In fact, we are helping them do that at their Pune campus and hope to do more of that. So that's what I have to share from my end.
Thank you, Amrit. Thank you. I think this is where you need to meet our national goal on the recircular and recycled water. This is one of the things that by 25, all the class A cities in India, we produce almost 85 million liter per day, 85,000 milliliter a day. That's water need to be treated. I think the technology like that, which will bring in some source of, new technology in treating those water and bringing back to the renewable side. Now with this, I'll go back to the NGO Say Earth, they have been doing some work. We heard packaging industry, we heard from technology. Let's go to the NGOs, how they see this water conservation is going to really bring new changes and evil in the Indian society, and looking towards what footprint they are talking about.
Yeah, thank you so much. Although as an NGO, we firstly, the first thing, we don't need to be the water positive, because we are already water positive. The only water we waste is for the drinking and bathing. But we have helped lots of corporates to become water positive. But when we interact the corporates, we are working more than 70 MNCs right now in all over the India. But the great thing, when we interact with the corporates, the 99% are already water positive in India, in the world. So no one waste water in this world. So and we making water positive these corporates by reviving the traditional water bodies. So because recently there was first water body census by the government of India. So as per the result, as per the first census, there are around 24 lakh water bodies in India, out of which around 59% water bodies are ponds. And 97% of water bodies are in rural area and 3% in the urban area. So that's why we work mostly in the rural area. So we have worked with HCL Foundation, with different corporates, and right now the condition of our ponds is not better than any landfill site or dumping yards. They look like a sewage tank, है ना. और इनको हमें क्लीन करना होता है, डिसिल्ट करना होता है, so we can increase the water holding capacity. हम उसमें गंदा पानी जो उसमें जा रहा है उसको डाइवर्ट करके दूसरी तरफ ले जाएं. अगर फिर भी जा रहा है तो उसको कैसे हम थोड़ा ट्रीट करके उसमें डाल सकते हैं. ऑल्दो गांव के लेवल पे ट्रीटमेंट सिस्टम लगाना उतना हमारे लिए भी फिजिबल नहीं हो पाता, किसी के लिए भी फिजिबल नहीं हो पाता, क्योंकि प्रैक्टिकली ट्रीटमेंट सिस्टम्स बहुत वो कॉस्टली होते हैं. और प्रॉब्लम क्या होती है, अभी गांव के लेवल पे भी छोटी छोटी इंडस्ट्रीज खुलने लगी है, और वो केमिकल इंडस्ट्रीज है. आप गांव के लेवल पर अगर छोटा नेचुरल बेस्ड एसटीपी आप लगा भी देंगे तो थोड़े दिन में उसमें केमिकल आने लगते हैं इंडस्ट्रीज के, और वो काम नहीं करता. और हमारे ज़्यादातर एसटीपीज की यही प्रॉब्लम है, वो डिजाइंड सीवेज ट्रीटमेंट के लिए हुए हैं और कर वो इफ्लुएंट ट्रीटमेंट भी रहे हैं, वहाँ जाके वो फेल हो जाते हैं. तो गाँव के लेवल पर हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा पॉन्ड्स को हम बारिश के पानी और सीवेज को हम अलग अलग डाइवर्ट कर दें, ताकि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा बारिश का पानी उसमें कंजर्व हो सके. और मैं ऐसे तालाब भी देखता हूँ, जब हम किसी पॉन्ड को रिवाइव करते हैं तो कई बार उसको डी वाटर करना होता है, पूरा खाली करना होता है. डी वाटर करने के बाद पता चलता है कि जितना प्लास्टिक आपको ऊपर फ्लोटिंग प्लास्टिक दिख रहा है उससे 10 गुना ज़्यादा वहाँ पे नीचे बेस पे बैठा हुआ है. पूरा पॉन्ड के नीचे क्या है, वो एक पूरा लेयर है, 2 से 3 फीट तक पूरा प्लास्टिक कचरा, वो पिछले 40-50 साल में एक लेयर वहाँ पे बन गई है, फॉर्म बन गई है. दैट्स वाई पर्कुलेशन हो ही नहीं रहा है ना. वो सिर्फ एक सीवेज टैंक का काम कर रहे हैं. देयर इज नो पर्कुलेशन अंडर द ग्राउंड वाटर. सो व्हाट वी डू, वी जस्ट रिमूव दैट waste, that inorganic waste especially, and we help the water bodies for the percolation. उसमें फिर कुछ एक्वेटिक लाइफ ऐड करते हैं ताकि वहाँ पे बायोडाइवर्सिटी, अवर यूएसपीज की हम जो भी वाटर बॉडी डेवलप करते हैं उसमें हम मिनी आइलैंड्स, वहाँ पे नेस्टिंग आइलैंड्स जरूर वहाँ पे डेवलप करते हैं, ताकि पॉन्ड्स के साथ साथ वहाँ पे वाटर कंजर्वेशन के साथ साथ बायोडाइवर्सिटी और इकोसिस्टम भी जनरेट हो सके. क्योंकि पाइपलाइंस हमारे घर तक आई हैं, हमारी बिल्डिंग्स तक आई हैं, बट आज भी बहुत सारे ऐसे पक्षी, ऐसे लिविंग स्पीसीज हैं जिनके घर तक पाइपलाइन नहीं गई है. दे नीड ए स्पेशल एंड थोड़ा सिक्योर एंड सेफ प्लेस इन द मिड ऑफ वाटर बॉडीज. दैट्स वाई वी आर डूइंग दैट.
Thank you. I think I'll come back with in context of how do you see the urban water bodies versus rural water bodies.
Yes.
Because the functions and uses are completely different in both the cases. Let me turn to one of the largest tech company, HCL. We saw some of their work, but we'd all like to hear from Nidhi that being a key player in CSR domain in sustainability, how does their vision fit into this water conservation? We saw that you have been working in larger river basin management programs, rejuvenation, and various other things. But how does that play in your larger goal of sustainability and water conservation and your strategy for that? Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for having us here, CSR Universe. You always bring together absolutely amazing topics and I think very meaningful topics. मैं यहाँ पर आज honestly for my love for water and this field I am here और बहुत पुरानी कहानी है कि राजस्थान में काम करते थे, drought में काम करते थे और when I got an opportunity to work back in India after my stint in international development sector globally and when I took over the CSR work and we were working in urban communities and we looked at the state of urban ponds, as Ramveer just said, our pond man. This looks like, by the way, a family because we all work together. Even otherwise, we are discussing and we are always like, Amrit, I remember our conversations around Aquapreneur and with Ramveer. So I think, this whole discourse has taken a very different language now. It has got into the sustainability discourse, it has got into water positive and so on and so forth. But honestly, when we started our work in the CSR space, it was very much inspired by the dire essential need to revive these water bodies which are dying. जब हम slums में जाते थे, slums के पीछे एक हमें dump yard दिखता था, लेकिन जब हम चलना और शुरू कर रहे हैं तो देख रहे हैं कि वहाँ तो एक तालाब था, कभी तालाब था, and we were working on public health issues, we were working on dengue, malaria, all kinds of waterborne diseases, और हम देख रहे हैं क्योंकि हमने तालाबों को ध्यान नहीं दिया, हमने उनको मरने दिया. Similarly in rural areas, and a lot of it was connected back. I remember 10 years ago when we started to talk to the district magistrate of Noida. More volume in the mic? Yeah, it's there? Yeah, okay. Are you all, am I audible? Okay. So, when we actually began to talk to the DM of Noida, Gautam Buddha Nagar then, Ministry of Jal Shakti was also making a plan in India. और उस समय जब हमने बातचीत करनी शुरू की तो हमारी नज़र में आया कि ऐसा कोई आंकड़ा ही नहीं है. There is no such statistics which says that this city before it got developed had so many water bodies. So I think the entire conversation revolved around let's start mapping first of all, let's start marking these water bodies. And unfortunately when we began to mark, we figured out that many were already occupied by high rises, जहाँ पे कभी तालाब या कोई लेक होनी चाहिए थी या watershed area होना चाहिए था, वो तो जा चुका है. And fortunately, simultaneously, at the same time, Jal Shakti was also making this plan. So we had this entire, I would say, opportunity in the cities where HCLTech had presence to start mapping, marking, work with the local authorities कि पहले आप चिन्हित कर लें कि क्या-क्या water body, at least any new water body cannot be sacrificed in the name of a high rise or in the name of a new industry setup. Because Ministry of Jal Shakti was also taking this up, एक ही बार में जैसे अभी आंकड़ा भी बताया आपको रणवीर जी ने कि एक ही बार में सारे big and small water bodies have been marked thanks to technology. हमने GPS यूज़ किया, हमने engineers को train किया, हमने महकमे के साथ मिलकर काम किया और पूरे देश भर में एक चिन्हित आंकड़ा हो चुका है. So I think lot of CSRs which are present in the room, I would urge you minimum one water body. आप एक water body तो लीजिए because this is the biggest need of the hour. जिस हिसाब से हमारा water stressed हम लोग जा रहे हैं 18% of the population we are contributors and I think 3-4% of fresh water is what we have globally. So we are as country also in a big dire need. मैं आपको थोड़े आंकड़े बता देती हूँ. We just started this work in a very organized way just about 8 years ago. As of date, we have already conserved more than 100 billion liters of water, which is, you know, I mean, if I were to put it in simple language, it's almost like 32,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools, if you were to imagine. तो ये करना कोई बड़ा मुश्किल नहीं है जब आपके साथ अच्छे पार्टनर्स जुड़े हों. आप ग्रास रूट लेवल पे छोटे छोटे बहुत सारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, एनजीओज़ हैं जो बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं. देयर इज़ नो नीड कि आप पूरी अपनी एक टीम खड़ी करें. द ओनली थिंग दैट वी नीड टू डू इज़ अंडरस्टैंड द मैकेनिज्म, अंडरस्टैंड द लोकल कल्चर. पानी के लिए तो वो रहीम जी का दोहा भी याद आता है ना कि पानी घर में राखिए, बिन पानी सब सून, पानी गए ना उबरे मोती मानस चून. I think it's the local communities which really understand. I come from Rajasthan and I have no shame in saying that as yours, my childhood also grew up. I grew up actually thinking about water ever since we, would get up in the morning. Until the end of the day, we literally had to see कि कल के लिए पानी है या नहीं है. Even if we lived in big houses, tankas, ghadas, keeping pots for people, passers by across the road, filling them up. Water, if we have to work on water, we have to understand the community, we have to understand the culture, we have to understand the nuances around it. Now it's about rainwater, catch the rain, catch every drop. So one is of course, by having 100 billion liters of water, definitely HCLTech becomes almost 20 plus, 25 plus times positive. But when we started this work, this has naturally gone into our sustainability figures. It's not we started because we wanted sustainability, because we are a tech company. There's nothing that we have to do directly with water. But since we've been working on rural development, we've been working on urban development, and water is so centric to development of communities, that's how water happened on our agenda. But then it has grown to the extent that today it's become so central to our CSR agenda. In fact, we will be making formal announcements soon in HCL grant as well. You'll see that water is going to take some center stage from this year. I just want to also close by saying that water के लिए ना आपको बहुत सारे solutions मिलेंगे as CSR community, as NGOs, as implementers, but nothing can replace or should replace the nature-based solutions. क्योंकि long term sustenance वहीं पर जाकर आएगी. अब बड़े बड़े cost में हो सकता है आपके पास STPs का proposal आए. Please evaluate them. Please talk to people like Amrit and Ramveer, who are actually on ground, who are implementing, who are making their hands dirty. Channels को मत भूलिए. Pond जितना आपको दिखता है उससे चौगुना होता है. There is 4-5 times. So we'll have to walk on the field in order to really get the right kind of. First of all, don't forget the pond. Don't forget the water body. पोखर अभी भी खरे हैं. I think one important message that I really want to convey here is that urban development is actually happening on actually the chest of our water bodies. It has killed our water completely. And unless urban planners, India, mind you, by 2030 is going to be 50% semi-urban. We just had Dr. Ashok, mention that we are building one country per year. And if we forget our local water bodies, if we don't pay attention to them, we are actually getting finished. So it's important for industries, conserve the lakes nearby, conserve the water bodies in your campuses, big, small, farm ponds, identify them. So I'll just conclude by saying, marking is very important. चिन्हित करना बहुत ज़रूरी है. The first step is that. Second step is identify the channels, the rainwater channels, and the, of course, volunteering. आप बुला सकते हैं अपने पूरे. We have 220,000 people, actually more now, and many actually come out. So it's a great volunteering opportunity also. But the third important point I want to make is signing formal memorandum of understanding with the state is critical. Is very, very important because it's always a tri-party agreement, community, whoever is implementing and putting in financial resources and government, because tomorrow your pond which you have conserved can be taken away for some high rise or something, then it's going to fail completely. And communities participation, understanding culture is very important, because pani hi hum hai, 75% of our body is water. You know, there's no question, every living being is water. So there's no question around it. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Nidhi, for I think we know that you have been doing a lot of community engagement for capacity building and bringing them to the limelight. Now let's go back to one of the largest conglomerate and to using heavily natural resources for their the business. And would like to, and they're quite water intensive sectors. They operate in that. So let us hear from Naib that how does it fits into their water intensive industries, the conservation and securing the water for future. It fit into your large conglomerate. Naib, for you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and it's a pleasure to be part of this particular panel discussion with such learned people out here. And thank you, CSR Universe. It's not on.
You take this one.
Hello. Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and it's a pleasure to be part of this particular panel discussion. Thank you, CSR Universe, for this opportunity. See, I come from Vedanta, which is a large conglomerate, as you mentioned. But I like regarding water security and water issues and water challenges. Let me just go back to my schooling days. In fact, my dad was a bureaucrat, and he was given a house by the government, a flat by the government in South Delhi area. And apparently that was a nightmare for us, in fact, while growing up. People who come from South Delhi at that time in the 80s will know. And we were living on the top floor, which was the fourth story building. That was a posh locality with cars and everything, parks and everything. But apparently there was no water. And the top floor residents used to go downstairs, used to get water from the downstairs. Sometimes used to also call for the tanker. There was a long queue, and we as young people used to go and fetch water after the school. So that was the challenge which we grew up in South Delhi. Then I in fact worked for some the developmental sector. Went to Tirupur. And I know people who know Tirupur is the like the garment hub there. But what happened is that then the podman's thing came to. I can just relate to him, in fact, because when we are looking at, and there's dyeing is one of the important key factor in making the garments. So when people dye, when the industries dye, they dye the garments. The water, the contaminated water goes to the downstream, and the farmer used to really feel the brunt of this particular thing. So worked a lot out there. In fact, looked at some potential opportunities out there, and worked with the farmers in getting them a good clean drinking water, and for the field as well. Then apparently joined the corporate, joined Cane Oil and Gas. And when I joined Cane Oil and Gas, and apparently the water challenge came with me along with this, and I was posted in Badmer. And if you know Badmer is a arid area. I think Nidhi would be like quite well aware of that particular thing. In summers, it's 55 degrees centigrade. Water is a luxury out there. And even for bathing, we used to be given only one bucket of water, even though we were a large corporate out there. And we used to really save water as a corporate out there. So in that background and in that backdrop, in fact, like we really started working on water conservation out there. The first thing which we thought was to put in those RO structures, and apologies there, in fact, for the RO system and the companies out. The water, the source for the water was not even present there, and the TDS content was something around 20,000 to 25,000 TDS level. how do you purify that water for the villagers? And fluoride content was also quite large, and people, and you can make out by seeing the children, their teeth were quite, they were brown, they were having those, some water diseases out there. So that was a challenge. And when we put in some RO plants, we used to waste 70% of the water, and only 30% of the water could be utilized. So we thought that this is not the solution for this particular thing. Then we worked with the we worked with the government, as well as we worked with the community out there. And what the pond man suggested was, we did the entire thing. We completely drained out the water which was there, which was not really that good. And then we desilted it. We and in Badmer, it's one important thing, which is वहाँ पे सिर्फ 9 दिन बारिश होती है पूरे साल में. And this water is like 9 दिन बारिश होगी, वो 9 दिन आएंगे आपके जुलाई और अगस्त में आएंगे. तो ये 9 दिन में आपको पानी को कैप्चर करना है. So how do you capture that water? So that's important. So natural resource management was the answer for this particular challenge. So we took the help of the community. We did a lot of desilting. We उसके बाद वो ponds जो थे वहाँ पे, जो आपने कहा pond कैसे बनाया जाता है, 17 ponds हम लोगों ने develop किए बाड़मेर के area में. And at the moment, while sitting here, all those things are sustainable, and like there's a lot of biodiversity as well. जो flora fauna वो भी आए, aquatic life भी हमने उसमें डाली. तो उधर एक अच्छी चीज़ ये है कि वहाँ पे वैष्णवी कम्युनिटी है, जो कि पॉन्ड को अपने यानी बेसिकली एक तो वो वेजिटेरियन है, दूसरी चीज़ वो अपने से ज़्यादा चाहती है कि भाई वो पॉन्ड में ज़्यादा वो इन्वेस्ट करते हैं वहाँ पे कम्युनिटी. सो that really helped us out. And apparently, I'm sorry I wasn't able to answer your question for how do we manage the water because of mining. So एक चीज़ मैं बताऊंगा, केन ऑयल एंड गैस की बात करता हूँ, कि हम लोगों को वहाँ पे एक बहुत बड़ी रिजर्वायर अंडरग्राउंड मिली, but Thumli reservoir hai. I don't know if you know Badmer, Thumli, but it was a salty lake, in fact, at that time. So we could take out that water, and we used to use that salty water for our fracking operations. Because fracking operations, बताऊंगा मैं, what in oil and gas, what happens is that we inject water in the earth, in where the oil is there, and everyone, the physics principle is that oil is lighter than water, so of course oil ऊपर आ जाता है, and then we take it out, take out the oil. So we use that water for fracking purposes as well. So apparently at the moment we are water positive. I can talk about KL Oil and Gas, while I need to get some data for the other companies of Vedanta Group. So that's what it is. In fact, thank you.
Thank you, Naib. Thank you. We know that you have been working hard. Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you, Naib, for your intervention, what you are doing in water conservation in Barmer. But you know, there are a couple of other things also. There are some frauds also come. But you know, so much of water pours in couple of hours. You don't have any holding structures there to hold those water. It just goes up. Yeah, so that's one thing actually you need to really. Yeah, I'll tell you. We did some work for you, so no, don't worry. I'll come back. Yeah, no problem. Thank you. So I'll go back to Subramanyam. They talk about, you mentioned that we'll take thread from there. Water positive by 2030. They have been working on making India water positive. And we'll see that how conservation's capacity building, dialogues, policy become part of their journey in bringing water positive. Because it's not a single person, you can't do in silo. You need the whole stakeholder to get into the system. And you need community, you need policymakers, you need your panchayat, your people, your land, water, everybody you need actually. How you really manage and see the conservation is really going to play a big role in the coming years. Can I have this?
At the outset, let me thank Ruchika of CSR Universe for having invited us here amongst an august panelists. My name is Dr. Subramanya Kusnur, and we formed this company, AquaKraft, as an innovation company in 2010. Prior to that, I was a professional career. I'm a financial market specialist and a banking risk specialist. Now we're trying to apply the principles of risk management to climate assets and water assets, and we are trying to make people recognize water as an economic asset rather than just a thing. So just to go back in terms of technologies that we developed 3 main technologies. One was for drinking water, as Kayam rightly said, and everybody talked about high level of content and high level of the TDS in various places. So we created a technology which is known as bioadsorption, which essentially does not require power. It works on gravity. If the groundwater is pumped up to an overhead tank with a head of 4 feet, I'll be able to treat around 15,000 liters every day, enough for a village to function. Basically addresses adsorption of heavy metals and disinfection and reduction of TDS to a great level. But in case if TDS is crazy as in terms of disembowelment and other places, then we finally use a membrane only for separation where the water wastage is less than 5%. We have implemented projects across 19 states in the country over 15 years' time. While we were implementing this drinking water systems, requests came from the community because a lot of toilets, courtesy our beloved Honorable Prime Minister's Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, which is by far the largest human impact activity happened in the world. A lot of toilets were provided, but a few of them didn't have access to water. That's when we went again back to our drawing board, innovated a biodigester, not the DRDO one, where if implemented and put subterranean, converts the fecal matter in liquid fertilizer, and there is no water needed for flushing. The only water that is needed is to wash oneself, which again gets recycled back. Having done these two things, we did a massive project in COVID of rainwater harvesting and groundwater rajing for a large MNC, which became very, very successful. So that put us to another point saying that if you do not have water to treat, what will you treat? But the only dependence of, only source of water rather, yesterday I was in Dubai, I was speaking at a conference there as well, is 97% is sea, 2% is locked up in glaciers, only 1% is fresh water. So while we are looking at this, and the only source that comes to us is rain and ground. Groundwater depletion has seen alarming levels, and because of which we are seeing extreme levels of contamination. Last week I was told in Punjab there is uranium in groundwater, leading to neonatal kidney failures. So even before the child is born, they're born with a kidney failure. So this is the challenge we're facing as far as quality is concerned. Having said this, monsoon is seasonal, but sewage is perpetual. And we have developed a nature-based solution, Nidhi, as you said, and this we have developed right back in 2011 itself, called as a geosoil filter, which functions on gravity, doesn't require power at all. The only power needed is a half HP motor pump to incubate the pressure. And your annual power bill is as much as your home power bill. We don't use any chemicals at all. We have created a very robust set of family of biocatalysts which implode the sewage, no smell, no sludge, and unlike conventional STPs, which recover 40 to 50%, which further requires secondary and tertiary treatment, we recover 97% water, totally disinfected, fit for use for groundwater recharge. In fact, I would not want to name the state government, but they will declare it very soon. They have made it mandatory for rural sanitation for panchayats, about 2,000 people, for them to get water. And our narrative, which we have spoken to NABARD and we had the opportunity to present to our Honorable Prime Minister as well, is that irrespective of rain, we take the sewage of a particular village, treat the sewage, make water available to the village for non-potable purposes and for agriculture, irrespective of rain, throughout the year. This is the idea of water positivity and water action that we do. All right, all this is great, but a lot of factoids. Everybody knows water is in crisis, but call to action is absolutely limited. Not just in India, globally. We're now spreading out globally. And globally, unfortunately, the COPs and everybody, they focus more on climate change and carbon. But water, which is core to life and sustainability, has been clearly missing the narrative. That's when we created the world's first digital water bank, called as Aquarium, which essentially replaces currency with water and allows you to create a digital water savings bank account. 3 main users of water: agriculture, 85%, 10% industry, 5% community. We said, let's go to the industry, and we implemented the prudential norms of banking and accounting and created a complete water footprint assessment framework, a water audit framework, which is today assured by Bureau Veritas. And the entire back-end digital platform is backed and partnered with Bosch. Here, we are now creating water balance sheets for corporations. And water positive balance sheets, we are issuing water credits at 1,000 liters water saved, harvested, conserved, or recycled. And water deficit balance sheets will be allowed, provided they commit to become water positive, to offset the deficit till the time they become water positive. Finally, what happens is human mentality is that unless you are able to flaunt your sustainability, nobody will do that. That's when we learned this very hard, and we partnered with Leo Burnett, the global advertising agency, and created a water sustainability score which can be put. And the first score has been given to Bangalore International Airport Limited, which will be putting it in the terminals across. So having mapped the entire ecosystem from harvesting to distribution, we thought it is very important for us to drive the narrative and drive the Made in Bharat narrative globally. And water is a very, I'll just take half a minute more. You will have to allow me that. Yeah. So water is a very fragmented industry. That's where we, in February, we created a non-profit called, a global think tank called as Water Parliament in Washington. And very happy to share yesterday, NSF, the largest certification agency, has joined us as a knowledge partner, where we want to now start driving the SOPs, the frameworks, the reporting standards, and Water Parliament is the world's first global water registry, where we will create reporting data so that there is no problem as far as greenwashing. We will make this recognized. We are backed by the UN. We are backed by multiple global organizations. But whole idea is that the experience in India has given us a strong impetus, and now globally this has been recognized. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Subramanya. Sorry, my apology because the organizer, they wanted to close this session ASAP. I'm sorry, my dear participants, that I will not able to take any questions. But let me just summarize in 30 seconds that what you all discuss and listen to our panel, esteemed panel members, we all are united in terms of conservation of water, be it is recycling the wastewater to the potable use, or rejuvenating or rehabilitating the old ponds in the rural areas or urban areas. Your financial support and passionate about water comes from tech companies. We have water intensive industries like Vedanta, also in the right way to really see that is a adaptation takes place in their industry to consume less water, to go towards ZLD and consume more water and bring back the recycled water to that. And we heard from Subramanyam that, they have been talking about digital water, virtual water, like trading, that's the idea they're going for water positive in 2030. With this, let me thank you all and thank you our esteemed panel members for joining, sharing your thoughts and your interventions. I think people, all of you can discuss with our panel members, learn from them and see how you can get yourself engaged with these companies and the people.
Sir,
Thank you very much.
Before that, I just, hello, sir, I'm here in your panel.
Oh, sorry. Oh, Ganesh.
Okay. So before that, just a small thing from our company side, actually. So we've been talking about the CSR activities and the water conservation projects recently for 10, 15 years. But we are there for the last 25 years. Yeah. Okay. And whatever you are speaking about, sir, this is there in this book.
Yeah,
this is a book which is a practical book. You go and then input your data, you will know where you are. This is what Bisleri has done.
Thank you, Ganesh. Thank you. We know that you have been working, and I think good that you are also. But you must see that you are rejecting 80% of water. You need to find out ways how to really treat them back into the system. Thank you. Thank you, Ashish.
I'd like to call Ms. Neha Sharma from the M3M Foundation and Mr. Ashish Jha from our team to felicitate the honorable panelists. And the moderator. Requesting the panelists to please stay back.
So we have our latest issue of bi-monthly magazine also. I would like one of my team member to please present it to all the speakers here. And this is a surprise to all the speakers and delegates sitting here. We have got an advanced copy of our new magazine, which is going to be launched today evening. This is for kids, school students that we have brought. The CSR Universe magazine that existed earlier was for the community in this space, those who are working on these issues. But this is for school students and to make them aware. Yeah. So ma'am, I will request everybody to please showcase the paintings. So that is, we are sourcing it from rural pockets.
So nice, very nice.
Yes. This one. Okay.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Subramanya. Thank you, Ji. Thank you, Rai. Thank you. Hi, Nidhi. Thank you.
Thank you, panelists, for the insightful discussion.
When you say staff, please यहाँ पे आ जाइए. Ayush, please call somebody from the staff. कितनी chairs चाहिए next में? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. अच्छा 7 ही चाहिए. पानी change कीजिए.